Hey everyone, so I'm in Missoula right now, and the sun is just about to set. Let's see if we can show the Earth is round, and maybe estimate just how big the Earth is, right? I'll make another video to do the math, but if we can watch how fast the sun goes out on that mountain over there, and we can estimate the distance and the height, we could maybe use some trigonometry to estimate how big the Earth is. So, okay. While we wait for that, let's zoom in. There's a skydiver up there. Let's see what else we can zoom in on. How about that M over there? Okay, so the sun is already starting to set at the base of that hill. We'll come back to that. Let's look at that M over there. That's made of concrete. How in the world did anybody scale up to that M? I'll give climbing up there a try at some point during my trip. So let's think about how we could calculate how far or how big the Earth is. So suppose that hill over there, let's suppose it's a mile away. And let's suppose it is 500 feet tall, right? And suppose that we already know that the day is 24 hours long, right? And we know that let's see, what else can we assume we know? Do we need to know how far the sun is? I would imagine mankind knew how big the Earth is before he knew how far the sun was. So let's suppose we don't know that. What else do we need to know? Okay, so if that hill was a mile away and the sun is directly behind us, we would see sunlight at the top, right? We need to figure out how far the Earth needs to rotate before sunlight, so draw a line from the top of that hill to where we're standing and where that sun is. That angle, and we look at how many minutes, or more precisely, what fraction of a day it takes to rotate that far. And that tells us how many degrees. I need to write this down, but leave a comment if you have a formula. I'm going to zoom in on that skydiver again. Okay, we are 3 minutes 45 seconds into the video. I'm always amazed. See, I used to naively think if you had a good enough camera, you could. I was living in Rochester at the time, that you can see Canada, but it turns out the Earth is big enough that you can't. I used to work out of or more actually, the Earth is small enough that you can't. I'm always amazed at how small the Earth is. I used to work out of a skyscraper. And on the ground it would look like the sun had already set, and then I would get to my office, which was 35 floors above, and the sun was still out. I just find that hard to believe how small the planet is, right? Another way to get a sense of how small things are. Sometimes if you have a friend that's halfway around the world and you both look at the moon together, you can sometimes see it behind different, in front of different star constellations. Maybe one of these days I'll have a chat with somebody who, I have a friend in France who also likes to look at the sky. We could look at the moon together and we could estimate how far the moon is, right? See how close we can get to. Although, I gotta put a disclaimer that at the time humans were first doing this, we didn't have a good way of estimating time. We obviously didn't have the capability of doing this, right? So, alright, let's take a look at that M. Alright, we are 6 minutes 15 seconds in, and it looks like that line is where the sun is hitting. So, this is, hey, do you know what river this is? I'm just, what was that? So, I used to have a misconception. I don't think this river is salty, but I used to have this misconception that if a lightning storm were to hit salt water, that it could make chlorine gas. And I got very fearful every time I saw lightning anywhere near salt water. And I thought that the way gold nuggets would form is that you would have a negative electrical charge would hit seawater, and any dissolved gold ions would pick up the negative electrons and become solid gold. And so depending on if because gold being the most stable metal, right, it would be the first to precipitate out of the solution, right? I don't know if that's all that accurate. Alright, thanks for watching. I guess well, here's the tricky part, right? When humans were first measuring the diameter of the Earth, we probably didn't have a good way of measuring the altitude of that either, right? Or how far everything was, right? I was just thinking, when we first came up with the metric system, you know, if humans were to invent measuring distances in 2020, we would probably call 6 feet, you know, the distance of COVID-19, right? And everything could be, you know, you could tell people that I am 0.8 COVIDs tall, right? Or maybe the 20 seconds could be a unit of time, right? Alright, thanks for watching.